Hello and welcome to another day of StarLadder Season 6. We are with day number 21 and we are here with the third game of the day, a day where we have 4 games in total, and this third game will be between Quantic and Fnatic. After this one we'll be moving on towards our next game, which would be the game between Virtus.pro and Rockskiss. But for now, Fnatic and Quantic will battle each other for the 3 points that are on the table, because that's what the winner gets, points, because we are in a group stage still, only 7 days left in the group stage. Next week Friday is the last day that StarLadder will have group stages. After that, the top 4 will move on to the LAN finals in Kiev in the weekend of the 6th of July. There we go. That's the right date. And of course, I'm not by myself today. I'm joined by K-poptosis. He'll be the one that you won't see, you won't hear, but you'll see what he does. You'll see him as our stats man for today. And of course, the one that you will hear, it is my co-caster. It is Kanaz. Welcome back.
Happy to be back.
So, Fnatic versus Quantic. Now, Fnatic has been in a bit of a slump. Quantic, they were starting to look very strong once they came out of the Western qualifiers. This week, actually, since they've picked up their sponsor, they haven't been doing as well as I seem to remember them being. So, what do you expect for this match? Because right now, Fnatic, was something that we have to note, Fnatic is on LAN. And Fnatic is a team that is known for being strong on LAN because they are with each other for so long that that might impact their gameplay right now.
Yeah, Fnatic finally grouped up boot camping. All the fans of Fnatic have been talking about it for a while now. How eventually Fnatic, they'll be back together, they'll be boot camping, they'll get back in shape, because they've been looking real sloppy lately. Yeah. So hoping that Fnatic, they've been together for only a few days at this point, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was like yesterday, or maybe no, it was Thursday, so 2 days ago, I'm pretty sure. They finally got together in, I believe, Serbia on their boot camping. So hopefully they're going to be getting closer in shape, but it's still early, so they might not quite be there yet. And Quantic already getting kind of 2 of the heroes that I think they're becoming well known for with their first 2 picks, both the Treant Protector and the Outworld Devourer. These are heroes.
This is going to be a mid lane that Fnatic cannot win. Like, guaranteed.
It's very difficult. Yeah, it's very difficult.
Would you put up against it? You're going to have an OD, which is already very annoying to begin with. And then an OD with a living armor. I mean, yeah. The bans were actually quite surprising. We had a Bane and a Darkseer ban. Now we do see those often. But interesting to see those as first 2 bans. We have an Undying ban here as well. Another interesting one to see. We do also have the Wisp and the Batrider, a bit more normal, with now also a Lone Druid and a Nature's Prophet. Maybe Quantic expecting to be getting a bit of extra push from Fnatic, and also of course the Tombstone that the Undying can pull out is a big anti-push hero. So maybe Quantic is expecting Fnatic to go push because of that Undying ban. But yeah, we have a Gyro and a Visage up on Fnatic, 2 strong heroes as well. To be fair, I haven't seen Fnatic play Visage yet. Who is their Visage player? Is that No Tail?
I would imagine it's No Tail, since
He plays their Chen as well, right?
I believe so. I think it's probably No Tail. I guess I don't know for certain. I don't think I've seen them play Visage either. They might just be trying out all the new heroes that have kind of become popular. Not new, obviously, but new to the sort of what teams are picking heroes that they want to try out, see exactly how they play, how they're going to run them, how they feel for their team. So it's possible that they're trying to take this as a testing. I don't know what their standings are in StarLadder. They've been doing pretty poorly, correct?
Yeah, correct. They are not really doing all too shiny, I believe. They can't go to Kiev anymore.
Okay, so they might just be using these as matches to try things out then too, if they're not actually in the running for going to the LAN finals.
Yeah, they've played 8 games. They've won 3, lost 5. Like, on paper, it is still possible, but they'll need to have a lot of people losing their matches from now on and win everything that they still have. I mean, in theory, they only have, like, just over half of their matches played. But a lot of pressure on those last matches, of course, done for them.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see if they, they try something silly to try and just try out some of these heroes. Like people have been talking about maybe one of the ways to beat Outworld mid is to use the new Bloodseeker, because they're both kind of heroes that it's very difficult to lose mid. Bloodseeker just doesn't used to be a hero that did nothing. even if he won mid. Like, he's very good at farming, and it's hard to harass him out of lane just because he'll keep healing, but he doesn't really do anything. Now that his ult goes through BKB, and of course Blood Rage is a lot more powerful with the purging effect, we've seen a couple teams pick him up already. I don't think in StarLadder. I think it's been in other tournaments mostly.
Not StarLadder.
Yeah, but there have been teams trying him out, so it's possible they could go that route if Fnatic really want to go for something kind of off the wall. But other than that, yeah, it's very difficult to beat Outworld mid, and I don't know what they're going to want to try and do.
No, and they're taking their time as well. Don't really have that much bonus time left. With Quantic picking up a Vengeful Spirit, we already saw her in an earlier match, of course, one of those supports that has seen a lot of daylight since the patch. And just a good one overall. I mean, if you're running a Train Protector, one thing that we've seen from Goblak is a Train Protector. He'll be a support on a tri lane, but he'll not show his face. He'll be pulling and stacking and pulling and stacking and jungling basically, because he can't do that. And Vengeful Spirit, therefore, probably the only support really around on the lane, and that is, with the Solid Stun, really a support that you want to have around just to make sure that your carry is safe. It's not really a lifesaver like... Whoa. I was gonna say it's not really a lifesaver like the Shadow Demon, but this is interesting, because Funzy's signature hero is OD. Would you then say Storm Spirit on the solo top lane, and then aggressive tri lane for Quantic?
It's hard to say. They could do it that way. They can run OD solo top lane, Storm mid. They can run Storm in a tri lane. It used to get done quite a bit, though not really anymore with OD mid. They can move these heroes around quite a bit. I think Funzy is usually their Outworld player, and I believe Sakshka has played a lot of Storm Spirit as well, so if they want to do that route with some sort of other aggressive tri lane, they could do it. Silent usually plays carry now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so they could certainly run those lanes. I've seen both Sakshka on Storm Spirit and Funzy on Outworld many times if they wanted to go that route. But they have options with moving these heroes around, and it really just depends on what they think their matchup's going to be for their last hero, or if they have something just planned. If they have like a pocket strategy here for their 5th pick, what to go with, then we could see something very unusual. And Treant Protector, Vengeful Spirit, they can make a very powerful aggressive tri lane, though Outworld and Storm really aren't the best in aggressive try.
Yeah, I guess you can set up with the OD with the Astral Imprisonment, which is okay, but yeah, you're right, it's not that ideal. And on the other side, I mean, we've got Fnatic, they picked up an Enigma, which is, I mean, I really like Enigma. And hello Lich, they want to just be able to deny each other, okay? Noted.
So they're doing an aggressive tri-lane with Venge Carry.
I really like Venge Carry.
Maybe. They could also run Treant in a solo lane if they wanted, but this looks like an aggressive tri-lane with Venge Carry to me. You'll be able to deny creeps in that bottom lane to pull the creep wave closer to your side of the river, and maintain control of the lane that way. Venge can do some decent work in the late game, and they have Storm and Outworld, who are both going to be pretty decent in their respective lane matchups to get some farm and try and snowball out of control.
Well, Lich is one of those heroes that can also, in theory, go solo on a lane. So yeah, it is interesting. And on the side of Fnatic, I mean, you've got yourself a Clockwork that can solo off lane. You've got yourself an Enigma that's probably gonna go in the jungle, and hey,
nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it indeed. That's gonna be like, you know, speak of the devil, Bloodseeker picked up. Will most likely be had in mid lane.
I had a feeling. So it's possible that they're going to run Enigma jungle, Clockwork off, Bloodseeker mid, and then the Visage, Gyrocopter dual lane safe. If Quantic run that aggressive tri-lane, Venge, Lich, and Treant Protector, it's very powerful, but with what the heroes they're picking up now, it's very confusing for me. Who's picking up which hero?
Yeah, it's, I mean, and they can swap it around a lot as well still, you know? I think they're gonna swap it still. I mean, Shock's got on a Treant Protector. Now, we know that Treants can go offlane, so it could definitely be possible. And OD support can also be possible. It's not ideal, but it has been done before.
Yeah, they can move these around. The only thing we know for certain, Lich is probably going to be a support. Like, that's very, very likely.
I don't think we can know that for sure either.
With what their lineup is, I can't imagine them running Lich as a solo over any of these other heroes.
Oh, I like it though, versatility. Well, by the way, one thing to note is that Quantic on StarLadder right now also is sitting on 5 losses, so the amount of losses on these two teams are the same. We do have Quantic with a bit more wins because they have 11 games played rather than just 8 that Fnatic has. And one thing also that I also want to note is that Fnatic's games mostly have been played without Fly, the ones in StarLadder. And so when Fly was still having some kind of boot camp, like not for boot camp for Dota, but boot camp for Kath McGraw, I've been told. So, yeah.
Yeah, so No Tail missed a couple games because he was in Japan. And
so
then Fly missed a couple games because he had something with military service, is what I think people are saying.
yeah, fighting camp.
And then Hani missed the most recent games because he was flying back to Europe from America. I don't know what he was doing in America, but Hani was also unavailable. So they've always had at least one player missing recently.
Yeah, and now back together. So I'm really curious to see what they can do here. We have got a pause because someone's AFK. But I think Fnatic is not going to be rotating their lineup around. That's the one thing that looks to be quite okay. Because like No-Tail playing the Visage for this game. Era on the Gyrocopter. Trixie playing the Clockwork will be going on the off lane. Fly will be on the Enigma and Hani will be on the Bloodseeker going towards that mid lane. And I think for Quantic, I think we should wait until the pause is on pause because do you think we can say this already, that this is going to be their lineup? Like, we've got two signature heroes here, and both are not playing their signature hero?
I don't know. It doesn't seem likely to me, but it's possible. Silent on the Storm Spirit, he could be running in the Tri-Lane Farmer. As Storm Spirit, that's certainly one of the ways they can do this. They could do Venge mid, and Sakshka off lane with it, support OD, support Lich. This is a way they could run these 5 heroes, but with these 5 heroes, they're also adaptable in how they're laned, and this isn't the way they're normally laned for the most part. Storm and OD both almost always solo mid. Venge almost always is support. In Tree, I think we've seen him probably a little bit more in the off lane than in the anywhere else, so I guess that's where he usually is if Sakshka does go to the off lane. So we'll see if they end up swapping around. It doesn't look like they are, though. They're buying items.
Okay, I'll go ahead and introduce us playing what again then? What official? Oh, we already.
You can start with the other team, and we can waste a little time.
I already did Fnatic. I already did Fnatic.
Oh yeah, you did when we were talking about them missing. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go over Quantic. We're gonna fucking mad playing the Lich. He's going off lane, so it's gonna be solo off lane Lich. It looks like. All right. Looks like you got that one. Goblock is in the mid lane on Outworld, and then their top lane is gonna be Sakshka on the Tree and Protector. Funzy on the Vengeful Spirit, and finally Silent on the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, I'm kind of a bit quiet because okay, OD's still in mid, you know, I get that, but why would Goblack then play the OD?
30 seconds.
And not Funzy.
And not Funzy, because Funzy right here is playing a support role. I haven't seen Goblack in a solo mid role for. Have I ever seen it? Maybe me personally,
I can't think of a time.
No.
I can't think of a time. He played off lane when he was part of MTW last year.
Yeah.
But that's still not a support role. Now he's been playing mid. Maybe they moved all their positions around in the last couple days, and I just
maybe they also want to just test out things. I mean, that's valid. Both teams having 5 losses. Both teams not really likely to make it to the playoffs. So just want to test out new things, and maybe Quantic was thinking like, okay, we know what, we have a very high success rate with these 2 heroes, but is it the heroes or is it the players? Or are they fake nicking?
Are they all on different names?
Oh, come on!
Holy crap! Did we just get next leveled?
We got next leveled. We should have known because Shokska is.
Sakshka is Glowblock if you look at his name. Holy crap!
Oh God!
Oh, that's why Sakshka was drafting and not Goblock.
But it was actually Goblag.
Yeah, but it was actually Goblock. Whoa!
Okay, so then I'm gonna, you know, I can't normally call people out then because that's gonna be so confusing. Okay, Quantic hereby will be going under their hero names.
Apparently, yeah.
Because otherwise, we're gonna get so lost.
Yeah, that's super bad manners of Quantic, but it's hilarious. I love it. I think I can see why the organizers should probably be upset about it, but I think that's awesome.
It's very good to try and drive your opponent off guard. But yeah, it's not very nice to the organizers, but it might be something that maybe even Valve at some point could do something about. But that's also not something that's really possible. No, you have to see who your heroes, who your opponents are playing. You can't do that. No, never mind. Okay, so yeah, we have, but in terms of lanes, not really that much surprising then, or at least the Lich off lane, we have seen that before. And he can just deny creeps and make Era having a bit less farm. He can't really win the lane, but at least denying Era farm will make sure that in theory Silence should get ahead. So that will be great.
Much.
And
he's just gonna sit there and deny all day.
Dire's bottom tower is
will be hurtful for his tower though, because of course he's really not a good counter pusher, because he's like he actually pushes his lane out, so he is not really favorable. Should Fnatic think, you know what, screw that, and we're just gonna go in and we're just gonna go take the tower. If he keeps pushing the lane out anyway, we might as well. But for now, well, for now not yet. But I think that if the push comes, it will come hard, and I don't think that Quantic will be able to do anything against it. In the meantime, Trixie might be in some trouble here. Gets 4 attacks. There is no stun anymore though, and it looks like Trixie will just be able to run in the end.
Yeah, it's hard for them to really kill this, and Lich really low on HP in the bottom lane actually.
Oh, living armor for him. Getting chased down by no tail though, but no grave tail. No grave. No slow. But yeah, denying is what he does. He shouldn't really try. Oh, he actually already got Trankles. That's quite nice for him. Of course, he went
got
boots
a lot
first,
of farm
though,
under the
so
tower.
Yeah, and he went boots first, so that helps as well. In the meantime, Hani is already completely out of mana. The OD, or Funzy playing Goblak's name, is sitting on 13-8, able to deny quite a lot of creeps, with 7-4 up on Hani, and that leaves the experience difference actually, from the looks of it, not that big of a difference. Quite surprising.
Is under attack.
Yeah, the denies just hurt more because Goblak's are like, dang it, Funzy's range, and of course Hani's a melee hero, so he gains more experience even though there are denies going on than Funzy really is. So things are close. Hani obviously not having a great time in mid lane. He has 65 max mana with 0.2 mana regen right now. But it doesn't matter, it doesn't affect his last hitting really. And of course he can survive this harass just by trying to last hit as much as possible. With the 3 points in blood bath now.
Yeah, in the meantime Funzy also not really having that much mana to really take a kill here. I mean, he is ahead. It's just very tricky to not overextend, so we'll see how he does that, because you know, if you know you're winning the lane, how are you gonna make sure that you win it and kill your opponent? Or how are you gonna make your opponent lose? Because if you win the lane, it doesn't necessarily mean that your opponent is losing the lane. And we know that a Bloodseeker, when level 6, he'll still be able to have that high impact ulti, with which is now HP removal, of course, the Rupture. So we'll see how that will go. In the meantime, no first blood on the board just yet. Trixie playing very aggressive here by looks of it as well, or at least aggressive enough to be able to get level 5 at this stage, which is pretty decent for an offlane Clockwork. And of course we have the other offlaner, Lich, who is still level 4 and is gonna have your mana. Oh yeah, he doesn't get picked up before. Of course, he got buffed indeed. He can now jump his ultimate 10 times rather than 7, I believe it was before.
Correct.
So that's a big difference.
A lot of damage. It's a huge amount of damage difference, but you have to get the bounces off for it to really matter. And they don't have a ton of setup for that. I guess tree ult could be what they're looking for. And we'll see if it ends up working out in a way where they can get a lot of heroes just kind of stuck next to each other, and the Lich will just bounce around and deal a bunch of damage, because it hits very hard. I think it's something like 6,000 damage at level 6. Split amongst, you know, whatever it bounces between, but that's a ton of damage. Even if it's split amongst like 4 heroes, 1,500 damage to each hero.
Yeah, I guess one upside that Fnatic has is that they have got that Enigma, so Eidolons will be there maybe to soak up some of the bounces, but that it'll still hurt, and it's still gonna be a very tough thing to take into account, because you can't really work around it that much. I mean, you have to still be able to play your game and still be able to do your moves and such, but yeah, we'll see how he can put that to work. Of course, also someone that, oh, look at that, is a very even, slightly in favor of Fnatic even. It's 57%. But yeah, I was gonna say that Silent is level 6, so we might see him rotate a bit more now as well. So we already have a rotation stun in there. He is visible though. It is nighttime, so he's standing still in the smoke. But no tail, looking for something. I don't think he can find anything though. It's so tough to kill off Funzy here. I
Yeah,
really
it's
don't
very
like them.
difficult to kill
Fake
him.
nicking. Oh, they're going anyway. There goes the Malefist. Here comes Funzido trying to help out. Nice Eclipse. They might be able to turn this around. Black Hole still gets thrown out by Fly. And there goes Godlike. That's the first blood. Funzi will be the second blood. In the end, no kill going the way of Quantic. Really nicely done by Fnatic. Using 4 heroes for it, though. A lot of rotations coming in and a Black Hole used, but worth it, I'd guess.
Dire's middle tower
Worth it for
is under
sure.
attack.
Yeah, would have been not so worth it if
Dire's structures are fortified.
whichever one's playing Vengeful Spirit didn't walk into it. I understand now. I hate it. I loved it. Now I hate it. So Venge walked into the black hole, wasn't able to really do anything as well, and just got killed as well. So a good rotation from Fnatic to get 2 kills. One of them also First Blood, who actually got the last hit for First Blood. Bloodseeker, so helps him out quite a bit as well.
Yeah, definitely. He wasn't winning his lane, for sure. He's now on par almost again with the OD. 400 gold behind, which is not insurmountable. And I guess it's fucking Matt that's playing the Vengeful Spirit. I think Silent is still playing under the same name though, so kudos for him, please. Thank you. Send him some love. Yes. And then Shock's got up on a Lion. Yeah. Lion Lich. Wow.
Lich. Yes, Lich.
6th of May and the Lion. I don't know what my brain is doing. It's awkward.
It's alright, we're almost there.
We're almost there. Just 2 more games.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Lich, we'll see when he gets some game impact. They're going actually top lane.
Trixie! He puts the cogs, but he gets 2 people with him, and one more hit, that gets the job done.
Look at that
Go
melee
Black
range
with the
tree.
kill. Yeah, melee range 3 is not what you want to be setting next to. 101 damage with only having 3 branches in his inventory. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely rough
Oh,
over there.
Era! Good to have some problems here. That is a kill. Creep wave or not, those bounces, they reached that gyro twice. In the meantime, Silent with the kill in the end. Oh, there goes the stun as well. They might be able to do something else here. But killing off Fly, Malefice still doing a lot there. Astral Imprisonment will hold him safe until the rest is here, and they will kill him off. Take the Outlaws with them as they go. Extra gold, always welcome. Using 4 heroes to do that, nice way to get a kill, just very quick in and out, getting some experience for the whole team apart from 4, of course, Godlike, who is still sitting top on his Treant Protector.
Yeah, they get that additional kill though after Storm Spirit effectively rotated bottom to finish off the Gyrocopter and save Lich. So it's definitely worthwhile for Quantic to be able to get those kills. Even though it looked like there were a lot of heroes committing to it, it was actually just an additional kill for the Storm Spirit to be involved with after he had saved the Lich and killed their carry.
Yeah, and Storm Spirit actually, I mean, he was involved in that kill top, obviously, then rotated bottom. He's involved now in all 3 kills that Quantic has done. So really nice experience boost for him as well, as he's now level 8. And, I mean, that's very important for a Storm. Normally you see a Storm sitting solo mid to get that experience very fast. Now he was sitting on a semi-tri lane with, of course, the Treant Protector in the jungle, so not really taking that much experience, but it still is a bit less experience than you would get mid. And right now he is on par with the other solos, as everybody is level 8 that was solo. Apart from the Enigma, who was, well, he was still solo in the jungle, I guess. He's going for a Mechanism first item, by the way. After boots.
Yeah, not surprising. That's kind of what most people do for Enigma nowadays, is just rush the Mechanism. At one point it might have been BKB or even Blink Dagger, but getting the fast mech is just so powerful for pushing and being involved in team fights, which is really what you want to be doing with Enigma anyways, being in those team fights. So that's what they start doing. And it's been working pretty well, I think, for Enigma for some time now. Not that we see him played a ton anymore.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Unfortunately,
attack.
though. Ooh, they want to go look at the TPs. 3 TPs going in, save air, and they might be able to take something. Hani still has that haste room, but only for a little while longer. He jumps himself right into no-tail, is able to jump himself further back. Still gets the grave chill, but should be able to stay alive. And that is 3 TPs wasted. Fnatic, they don't want them wasted though. They smoke up, looking for something. They have to find something, otherwise they've wasted a lot of golden time here. With also a smoke being used, that would be an extra 100 gold wasted on top of the TP scrolls that they used.
Yeah, so they're not able to get the punish. I think they really wanted it, but Honey just can't get close enough to get that Blood Rage up. Blood Rage, of course, has that additional effect of silencing. Besides, I guess for the aggressive side, it gives the Purge nowadays, and the damage increase. But on a Storm Spirit, if you're silenced for a long period of time, it is absolutely terrible for you, since you rely on using spells for doing all of your damage. just to be able to span things off to get as many procs of overcharge
Dire's
or
middle
overload as
tower
possible.
has been denied.
So a 6, 7, 8, 9 second silence is absolutely miserable when you're playing a Storm Spirit. It makes it a lot harder for him to really aggressively dive in with Ball Lightning. And we'll see if Honey's able to get a couple snipes off on him as the game goes on, catching him with that Blood Rage.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, the Storm was picked up before the Bloodseeker, so already picked up as a good counter there. So we see Hani already maybe looking for something. The hookshot actually misses. That was Trixie trying to go for it, but couldn't get it done. And we see Fnatic. They look for blood. They look for fight. They can't find it though. Quantic still has fucking Matt sitting bottom by himself. He's farming. He is a lich. He's awesome. Which is actually not fucking Matt. It is Shokska. God, I hate that. But I mean, Quantic, they are happy with the way things are going. I mean, in terms of carry potential, you still have to watch out for that gyrocopter because that's not going to be easy. But if you make sure that Fnatic is wasting a lot of time on the rest, you only have to deal with one farmed hero while all your cores are going to be more farmed than him together. If that makes sense. Your cores together are going to be more farmed than just him. Yes, good. Rotation continues on from Fnatic. They now go to where Era is. They now go towards the tier 1 bottom where the tower is getting healed up, but I don't think it's going to matter that much because Fnatic, they have their eyes on it and they'll take it down.
Dire's bottom
Oh,
Yeah, they don't-
Quantic, they actually want to fight.
Dire's
TP in. Krog's already there though. Flare comes in with the vision. There goes the chain frost already. It still bounces around, but only once. Only once. They are still able to pick up the vengeful, the visage with it. There goes a black hole. It catches 4. 1 down, 2 down, and there goes the other 2, and the last one. And the buyback was there. It is Storm Spirit that is the last one alive there. Godlike back up, but what can he do apart from throw out a living armor up on Silent to help him survive? But wow, what a black hole. In the end, Silent was able to get away from that, so 3 of the 4 did go down from it, but I think Fnatic are going to be happy that they picked up that Enigma.
Yeah, that was a huge black hole from Fly. He caught 4 heroes and leads to them being able to get kills that otherwise they would have been in a little bit of trouble, I think. I think Trixie the only one that went down, I believe, for Fnatic. I might have missed someone else. But
No tail went down on the very start. He wasn't able to be there. And he
No
actually
Tail
doesn't
died.
have birds either. That's a big deal. So he actually normally when he kills the Visage he'll still have the birds, but not this time.
yeah, he wasn't able to get level 6 very quickly. He hasn't had a lot of struggle. He's struggled quite a bit to get level 6, but he's there now. He'll have those familiars. And yeah, that black hole turned the tide of a fight that otherwise I think was very, very lost for Fnatic. Trixie went down because he was stuck kind of in tower range, but set up quite a few kills, so probably not super worried about dying there. And it's looking like a Roche attempt from Quantic, and they don't do the most damage, but they do have quite a bit of tankiness with that living armor on Sasha and this ice armor.
And they have the element of surprise because Fnatic is not going to be expecting this one. And they do not have any vision either. If they would actually been able to see Quantic because they're sitting a bit outside of the vision of the core. There they go. The flare still comes in, but it doesn't matter. Aegis gets picked up by Silent. And you want your Storm Spirit to have that because that means he has 2 mana bars to spam out during a fight, which is a big thing. Unless of course he gets silenced, in which case he can't do anything. Shift bugged. That's not good.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means.
I think that means your shift key is stuck, maybe.
Maybe.
But then you wouldn't have to restart Dota.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I was like. I don't know what shift key bugged means, so whatever. But then we'll have a restart regardless. And things looking pretty good for Quantic, even though they sort of lost-ish that fight. In the bottom lane, the black hole was obviously very powerful, and Fly not always going to be able to get those big black holes off. So if they kind of take another fight and he only catches 2 heroes maybe in the black hole or even less, it's going to be a lot harder for them to actually take fights.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Era is not really doing too well. I mean, he is actually behind on farm compared to the jungling Enigma, and even though of course Enigma is one of the fastest junglers there, it is still quite the thing to have. And right now, Quantic with that Aegis feeling ballsy enough to lay down some damage on this tier 1 here, which is of course a very big map control point for Fnatic. And so far, no towers yet down on the side of Fnatic, with only 2 towers down on the side of Quantic. But you need to have some towers to get your supports more gold. And with supports, I both basically only mean the Vengeful Spirit. Oh, swap in, they get the Enigma. He doesn't have a black hole, but they also don't have to worry about it for a little while longer, because he just went down. Bird's trying to do what he can. The Familiars did end up selling up Silent, but didn't do anything anymore. They're actually gonna just wait until they could kill the Birds, which they end up doing. That's gold going away at Fonzie's OD. And that will be the tower going down. The first tower down on the side of Fnatic.
Yeah, that's the first tower they managed to take, and that's mostly because Fnatic have just had a little bit more pressure they could apply early, and they took a couple fights. They were able to get that bottom tower on the back of the fight, and it was also low, just because Lich was down there, which makes that tower push all that much easier. And Bloodseeker, of course, was keeping his tower relatively safe in the mid lane because he was just tanking things up, healing with the Bloodbath early on. But things going decently still for Quantic. They get that tower. They got 1 kill out of it as well. It was only the Enigma, but still a pretty good kill to get. He's pretty high in net worth. He's sitting 4th now. He was 3rd before, just above Era. And so things looking good for Quantic still, but eventually BKB is going to come up on the Fnatic side. Probably Enigma and Gyrocopter will be getting BKBs in the near future. And they have a lot of magic damage and not a lot of things that go through BKB.
Well, yeah, that is very true. We do see a BKB almost done up on the Storm Spirit, by the way. He also picked up a point booster just to get himself some more mana. But BKB is the one that he decides to go for. Very defensive build. He actually jumps in though, going aggressive up on Honey. He gets slowed down, gets hookshotted in. The Cogs, they hit upon the Trio Protector. Rocket Barrage silent. That's already an Aegis gone. In the meantime, Trixie gonna get right kicked to death by a big 3 Lich ultimate bouncing around. Black Hole gonna get swapped out. And that is Fnatic not having the fight that they were hoping for, ending up not able to kill off anybody. And that is a tier 1 tower, the second one on the side of Fnatic going down, and everybody of Quantic living there. Well, the initiation, it came from Quantic, but the counter initiation, Fnatic wanted to fight that. Couldn't get the right black hole. You have to get Funzy in there, otherwise you can't hope to survive that fight.
And by Funzy, that's...
By Funzy, I mean a fucking mad playing the Vengeful Spirit, who is named fake nicking his teammate, who is actually playing the OD. Yes, this is fun.
That one. So much fun. So they get 2 towers out of that. And yeah, that's... I don't know why Fnatic are trying to force these fights. They're in a position where they can't really give up a lot. They can't afford to give up too many towers. But
there was 2 towers in a row just there.
Yeah, but when they lose a fight, they give up the towers anyways. So they're better off just trying to slow the initiation and or the tower pushes as best they can and try and farm BKBs on these relevant heroes. And they're not really close to them on anybody at this point, and that's really not a good situation for them.
Oh, and Pipe being built up by fucking Mad, by the looks of it. Who is going for the mech? Oh, Goblak already has it on his... No, that's not Goblak. Shuxka already has it on his Train Protector, which is actually Goblak. He's just named Shuxka because he wanted to throw enemies off guard. It is actually Goblak. But it is Funzy that has the mechanism on his OD. There we go. I got it in the end.
We'll catch on eventually. It's difficult. I'm having trouble, you're having trouble. It's funny, but it's also miserable. So there's pushing in the bottom lane still. BKB was finished on the Storm Spirit, BKB close to finished on the OD. And once these BKBs are up, it's going to become pretty miserable for Fnatic just because they don't have a lot of damage picked up. Their heroes don't have items to deal the damage they need to in fights to take these heroes down. And if Storm with BKB has enough mana, he just charges in, they really can't do too much right now.
So Era is still so low on net worth, he can't find the farm by the looks of it. He also gets an Astral Imprisonment up on him. Here comes also fucking Mad. Gets himself pushed out by the cock straight away, throws out his ultimate, but it's already getting darts and he already goes down. That is No Tail with the kill. Rocket Barrage up on the OD. Having some issues there. Leech Seed Overgrowth getting cancelled. Wouldn't catch anybody anyway. There goes the Cox. Hits up on the OD. OD goes down. All of a sudden, Quantic on the back end of things. There goes the Rupture. The tree drops and it is gonna be Silent, the last one alive here. who will be trying to run for his life because he can't ball lightning because he's out of mana and ends up dying anyway. Era with a double kill and Vengeful Spirit, last one alive, and he wasn't even in the fight.
Yeah, that's a really awkward fight from Quantic now. It's both teams kind of just doing unusual fights back to back. But they managed to just... Fnatic managed to get a bunch of kills. They get the tier 1 tower, they're going to get the tier 2 tower. So it's pretty much exactly what Fnatic just did in their top tier 1 and then tier 2.
Yep.
That Quantic just do feed it right back.
Yeah, towers
so
are
going,
even ones again.
Yeah, towers are even because the game is going pretty even, and it feels like both teams just kind of taking weird initiations. They had to port in like one at a time to that top lane, and ended up just dying one at a time effectively. The Lich ult, it hit on only No Tail.
Yep.
No Tail, like there was no one even really that close to No Tail for it to bounce to, so it was just effectively an extra Ice Nova, Frost Nova, to do damage. Frost Blast, I guess is what they're calling it now.
And that wasn't even a fight where the black hole was used.
Yeah, and they still have the black hole off cooldown as a result of that, so it's another fight that Fnatic can try to win. But then again, they did just lose the fight before that with black hole. It got cancelled immediately.
True. They've supposed to be able to win without black hole. In the meantime, looks like Quantic want to try and do something here. We have 3 people rotating mid, with also Goblet Extreme Protector on his way coming here. They can't really fight though, not like heads on. Oh, they're not gonna fight heads on. They're gonna smoke up. Because I was gonna say, because if you fight heads on right now, there is that black hole. But they are gonna go in and go in with a smoke, as we have a pretty big ancient stack being taken down by Era. So that will catch, it will catch up some farm with that one. That look to be going in. The Nature's Guys is still there, allowing Goblet to be a bit more aggressive than the rest, not really worrying about smoke being popped off. Place a ward. Will also, of course, be able to initiate with that overgrowth if he finds his enemy team, but the pings go off, they realize something's wrong. The sentry ward even gets thrown out, so they see that ward over there if they have the vision. Now this is just Quantic waiting for a fight, but it's quite obvious when you see an OD and a Lich sitting that far mid and nobody else on the map. You have to realize something is going up, and Funzy gets... Oh, he already cancelled it. Nature's Guys already gets cancelled. More wars being placed. The swap. Funzy looking for it. I mean, Vengeful Spirit looking for it.
Yeah, Venge can't really swap right now. Probably has to save it to break black hole, and it's also level 1 swap, so it doesn't actually do that much yet. And I don't know if Quantic want to force this fight. They're sitting in the mid lane like they will want to. They haven't backed off yet. Maybe they're just hoping Fnatic get bored and make a mistake. But now they're backing off because there's pretty much nothing they're gonna do here.
No, they couldn't do anything anymore.
Yeah, they would have to initiate a tower into a black hole, and that's very, very risky. Even if you do have quite a few spells that break the black hole, they're gonna try Fnatic will try their absolute best to force you to overcommit so that the black hole catches as many of you as possible. If they get a big black hole off, then they end up in a lot of trouble and potentially losing another fight. And losing 2 fights in a row is not what you want to be doing, especially if it costs you a lot of casualties.
Another situation that you want to be in right now. One fight, I mean, we already have the game even once again, but one fight can just throw the whole game off balance again if you lose that fight and you don't want to. So you only take fights that you know you can take for sure, and right now, neither team really knows that they can take the fight for sure, unless they are the ones to initiate. They are the ones to tell the other team when, where, how, and what. And they all continue farming until then. In the meantime, Era is able to get a bit more items up on himself. He actually almost got the BKB ready. Just needs the Min-Through Hammer and then he'll have it. And that will make a big difference, as you already mentioned. There's a lot of magic damage. If it's one thing that counters an OD, like most of his damage right now comes from his Arcane or from his right click damage. And if you're BKB, you're not gonna get damaged like at all. Well, you're taking some damage, but not really that much. You won't be able, like Storm won't be able to do anything against you, Lich won't be able to do anything against you. You're not gonna get magic missile by the Vengeful Spirit, and that would be a very big item for Era to get.
Yep, and Roshan's up, so the fight's going to probably take place here, but if Fnatic want to go for it, they have to get there very quickly, because now Quantic do a lot of damage by comparison to the last time, and this Roshan will go down a lot faster.
Yeah, they're already going there though. They want to take this. Sentry Ward doesn't scout, Shock Scout. Goblax, Train Protector.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Quantic, they look to be wanting to take the fight if they can surprise their enemies. But they can't really. You see them both standing around, they can't do it.
neither team wants to get caught too far out. They don't want to overextend into it. And Quantic has a lot of heroes that are great at overextending, like the Storm Spirit. But if he goes in and gets Blood Rage, he's forced to pop his BKB, and then he's kind of in an awkward position. But here we go.
Oh, it was Silent that went in. He lost a lot of mana because of that, though. They're gonna counterword this. And right now, they're a bit split up. OD. In some trouble. That's a regen rune. Storm will make good use of that one.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Flares are there as well. We still don't have a blink dagger up on the Enigma, so he has to walk in. Hook shot in! Fucking mad! Looked out of position, inside the cogs. Lands his ulti as the overgrowth. Look at that bouncing around! The mechanism is still there, though, helping out a lot, but the extra bounces here, taking a lot of damage. Goblik will end up going down. Funzy will drop as well, but it's a trade. It's a worthy trade. 2 supports going the way of a 1 gyrocopter, and that's the main carry of Fnatic, and that is, even though it's a 2-for-1 trade, it is, I think, a worthy trade for sure, unless they still can't get Roshan with it, which looks to be the case.
Yeah, they don't want to take a 4v3 fight right now. Not with Black Hole still off cooldown. They don't know for certain that he doesn't have mana, obviously. And we can look. Enigma doesn't have mana, easy. But Enigma does have his BKB finished now, so that means these Black Holes are only going to be interruptible by the Vengeful Spirit swap. And as a result of that, if he ever catches Funzy and other heroes, oh Jesus, not Funzy, Vengeful Spirit, that's all I'm saying, and other heroes, it's going to be absolutely terrible for Quantic.
Yes. In the meantime, we have Hani on the Bloodseeker. He hasn't been making that big of a splash, I think, but he hasn't died yet. He's been 8 out of the 12 kills. He's been that silent weapon that Fnatic has that's been right in your front of your face the whole time already. He's got a Shadow Blade. He's got 2600 gold. He is actually doing really well, even though his mid lane didn't really go that amazingly well.
Yeah, he's definitely holding on, even though it's a pretty miserable time, which is to be expected, but he survived. And a lot of heroes can't even really do that.
Oh, Roshan being taken already. Era in the pit. There goes the Rupture up on Godlike, having to stand still for now. And there they go. Ball lightning in. Cooldown comes down as well. Era in some trouble. Trying to run himself out. Chokska already goes down. That's a Treant Protector. I mean, he does buy back though. Silent with the BKB, unable to do some work. Hani fleeing from the scene. Black Hole, it catches 2. And it is the Vengeful Spirit that was caught in that, and the Vengeful Spirit also goes down. The BKB of Fly doing the works, but he will still end up dropping because there was not enough follow-up damage up on that. And of course, the buybacks didn't really help either. We still had Era dying and buying back as well. We had No-Till dying and buying back as well. And that is where dire advantage comes into play. And that is the Aegis picked up by the Storm. I mean, Godlike died on his Treant Protector and bought back as well, but in the end, dire advantage wins it from Quantic, I think.
Yeah, Gobek wasn't really able to even get back in the fight with his buyback. He kind of just walked in at the end and didn't do anything. But yeah, a lot of buybacks used, but Aegis does go the way of Quantic. So Storm, he'll have an Aegis once again. He also has a Bloodstone picked up for a ton of mana regen, and he can kill himself, which could happen. And with that Aegis, he can kill himself and immediately respawn. It's just like a free heal for his team.
That is a pretty good point. Again, I hope he's gonna suicide at some point in the game. Yes, would be good. It's not a very high kill game to get Bloodstone charges for though, but it is 14-14. It is very even, and yeah, a lot of damage coming off from that Lich indeed. He has got that pipe ready for his team. He's been on 12 out of the 14 kills. Well, he's been sitting on that bottom lane for a long time. Gold graph going slightly in favor of Quantic, not by that much though. We have got the experience graph in favor of Quantic as well. Again, not by that much. The biggest difference that we see it in is that Fnatic is in charge of the highest and the lowest level on the map. We have got the Bloodseeker level 16. With now also Silent actually being level 16 on his Storm Spirit, but No-Till still sitting at level 9, lowest level in the game, and even the second lowest is 2 levels above him, which is the Vengeful Spirit. By fucking mad.
Yeah, it's really feeling like No-Till hasn't been able to have as much success as he really needs to be on this Visage. I don't know, maybe it's that they're not that familiar with how to play Visage yet, or that he just struggled.
Was it pun intended?
Did I say something that was punny?
Yes. Maybe they're
It
not
wasn't
that
intended.
familiar. Huh?
Oh, jeez.
Huh?
Yes, I wish it were intended. I really truly wish it had been intended. So yeah, they're not doing that well. He's not doing well, is really what it comes down to, and needs to be doing well on a hero like Visage in these fights. The familiars have to be doing a lot of work, because he doesn't have a natural stun without the familiars.
Yeah, in the meantime, we still don't have a blink dagger up on Enigma. I mean, we saw the black hole already quite a few times doing the works, but they aren't really able to initiate with it, which is kind of a problem, because right now they only can cast a black hole if Quantic decides to fight. But if they decide to back off, there's no way for Quantic to really get a good black hole off unless they cock. And cock is actually quite counterproductive to that black hole, of course, because it pushes everybody away from things. So Fnatic, they have to just watch while their tier 2 went down, not really able to initiate, just standing there making sure that at least Quantic doesn't take more than just a tier 2. But it was, well, it makes the towers even now again as well. Towers are both having one tier 2 tower left standing. Looks like Quantic might be trying to take down the last one now as well, though, because the lane is already starting to push in. In the meantime, they might have to rotate top soon, because that lane is pushed in as well. And we actually see the rotation coming in. Fnatic, they know exactly where Quantic is, but they smoke up, they ping on that top lane, and they're gonna start forcing some TPs. Because they know that they can't fight this.
Yeah, they're gonna have to try their best to deal damage to that tier 3 tower. It's got the living armor on it, but it's gonna get removed immediately just because the creep wave is attacking it. And they smoke to get there as quickly as possible. We'll see how much damage they can do to the tower. It's at half HP already.
In the meantime, Pixie kind of ruined the plan. He kind of showed that they were going for that. And it, yeah, well, yeah, the downside, yeah, you can't really, like, taking down a tier 3 tower to half HP is great, but then you have a train protector on the opposing team.
Yeah, so chip damage doesn't actually do anything. This tier 3 probably going to be close to full health, unless they go back in on it right now.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Let's see who they find. Blink dagger up on the tree. Got silencer with that gem. It looks like they won't be able to find anybody, though. They actually back off. They don't have any vision here. I mean, of course, you have got that gem of truth set up on Quantic, so it's tough to get the vision going. But maybe some unorthodox places or something like that would still give vision. Would still grant some extra vision in the way of Fnatic, as Quantic actually now ventures into their own jungle. So if it was just a bit earlier, they would have had a big team fight on their hands. But right now, are not able to get it anymore.
Yeah, not forcing the team fight, and they're not able to get that tier 3 either. I don't know. Fnatic, it's hard to say whether or not they feel like they have to force something right here. They have the Gyrocopter, who is a very, very powerful late game carry, and Quantic, they don't really have the late game per se. Storm Spirit can be very powerful late game. He snowballs. He can have, with like infinite mana, he can do very large amounts of damage very quickly. Outworld Devour, he can do a ton of damage as well, as his mana pool gets larger and larger, and of course his ult becomes very powerful. But Gyrocopter with BKB is going to be able to do a lot of damage in these fights, and if you can get Blood Rage on him too, the 120% base damage increase with Flat Cannon is going to be gigantic if he gets something like a Butterfly picked up next.
In the meantime, Era, I don't know why he was out here. Like, okay, he was farming, but he doesn't carry a TP around, so he was in a bit of trouble. Ended up being able to dodge, waste a bit of time at that. That's Quantic. I mean, there's no tier 2 tower standing anymore on the side of Fnatic, so this is just them saying, you know, we're on our way. We're coming towards a tier 3, and if you want to fight us, you're welcome to, but we're ready. They've got that BKB up on the Storm. They've got BKBs all around. They've even got a start off on the side of the Vice for the Lich. They've got the Blink up on Shoxka. They actually, no, they back off. Wow. Yeah. It will turn into a game for the Roshan, I think. Waiting until the next one is up.
Still a few minutes until it's up, but Scythe of Eyes is picked up on Storm now. And it's a pretty big pickup as well. They can try and pick off some of these heroes before they get their BKB off, like the Enigma. If he just balls in, gets the Scythe off on him, gets the kill, or if he can get Gyrocopter in a good position. But they're going to smoke up and try and find something here, and then they want to probably try and take a lane. And if they can't, the smoking doesn't work out, as long as they don't commit too much and end up feeding away kills, they'll be able to just go for Roshan afterwards.
Yeah, they go in towards their own top lane right now. We see the minimap though, so we know where they're going, and we know that there's nobody around there to where they're going. Even though if they continue going, yeah, well, is Fnatic gonna show themselves? Next creep wave is far
Dire's
away,
middle tower is under attack.
but the flare comes in, so they realize they've not been scouted out because the smoke was still on. Oh, there's careful though. There's Hani with the Shadow Blade on. There's a gem up on Storm. They have to be ready for that. There comes a flare. Now scouts out people waiting for the hook. If Fnatic wants to go in, this is the time. There goes the rupture. Vengeful in some trouble. BKB turned on. Hani can't go for it. Nice Esper on Prism. There comes the overgrowth. Hits up on no-tail. Mitchell has been bouncing around. Fly can't get the black hole. Turns on his BKB looking for a black hole, but can't find the right one. Silent taking a lot of damage, getting slowed off. The bounces around don't do that much anymore. Now Silent will end up dropping, and that is a 2-for-1 trade in the end, with Hani getting picked off on the one side of the fight, and the other side of the fight it was Silent. Oh, they want to continue fighting the cogs. They catch 3, but where is the black hole right now? Not just there. Nice Astral Imprisonment. There is the black hole. Catches the 3 remaining heroes of Quantic, and we'll be all seeing the, well, nighttime, because they're dead. All of them. 2, 4, 5. And that is gonna be one set of racks.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Hello?
Yeah,
Dire's top tower
that was
is
an
under
insane
attack.
black hole from Fly.
They
Trying to
don't
just
go
cover
in.
in exactly what they're doing. Hani, it looked silly that he died, but he was on the back of the fight keeping Venge and OD out of the fight the entire time. OD even ends up just ulting on Hani as he was going to die anyways from an urn charge. So he ends up expending the Outworld ult on him, which I think was probably a pretty questionable play considering that the team fight was continuing on the opposite side with the rest of his team. And then those cogs from Trixie catching 3 in, even with the Outworld trying to imprison the Enigma to prevent that black hole, wasn't enough.
But why didn't they go in? Like, they had 5 people dead. The lane was pushed in. They could have gone for it, at least a tier 3. They all backed off. There were 3 heroes there. They could have taken a tier 3.
Yeah, it feels likely that they should have been able to take the tier 3. I'm not actually sure why they didn't go for it. They had Gyrocopter up. He was kind of low-ish, but not low enough that they need to back off. Maybe they just don't want to overcommit and they're confident in their late game.
That could be very true, because they
don't
have
have
that gyro, I guess.
Yeah, and they don't have that much damage right now, so it would have taken quite some time for them to get the tier 3s down. And Storm Spirit was going to be responding very quickly. He has that Bloodstone, and he went down for basically first or second in the fight.
Yeah.
So they don't want to get caught out. If they don't kill the tier 3, it's obviously going to get healed up, and then Roshan is very, very easy for Quantic. But it looks like Quantic might be getting Roshan anyways, unless Fnatic...
Nah, the flare already scouts them out though. We're looking for the hookshot from Trixie if we can find an opening. There goes the hookshot. It misses actually though. Rupture still up on the OD. BKB's turned on. Vortex up on no-tail, taking a lot of damage. Will end up going down. That's a gem on the floor as well. Swap in very long range shot that of course got buffed in his handy. But they got him hexed. They got him dead as well. One more hit needed. There we go. Gem indeed up on Quantic right now. They take the Aegis with them as well, and they go on. They go on now. Maybe they can do something in the opposing team's base. As the birds still take a fall. I really think they still should have gone for the top lane a moment ago. But, well, I am not a professional player, so I will abide by their rules and accept that I am just often wrong.
Yeah, I can see why they wouldn't want to go for it, but it felt like it was probably a time when they might have wanted to force the issue. Especially if they're going to end up giving up Roche anyways because they're nowhere near it when Quantic go for it. Like, you have to know if you're backing off and you don't force them to react to you, they're going to go straight to that Roche pit, and they do enough damage to take him down quickly. They have that Venge with the Medallion with the Howl that both lower his armor very, very much. So they get the Roche for basically free. They get a couple kills off Fnatic as well, and now Fnatic are in their base. They have the Black Hole off cooldown, but they don't have much else going for them when they end up giving weird fights away like that.
Yeah. Basically, Vengeful Spears got one job. Swap out the black hole and mind your positioning. We see the positioning of Quantic. It's very careful.
Radiant's middle tower is under
It's
attack.
very spread. Living armors Funzy already taking a rupture. Colon coming down as well. There's a tease already helping out, but BKB's gonna turn on, and Godlike is the one to have to run. The overgrowth helps him escape though. Hukin hits up on the tree. Tree is down. We see the Chain Frost bouncing a lot of times, but not getting any kills done. And it is actually the Venge that goes down, and now a black hole cannot be interrupted. Fly though, still taking quite some damage, can't really go in. It's a 2-for-1 trade. Quantic is forced out of the base of Fnatic. And they are actually just backing off, wisely so, not getting anything done. Tier 3 tower took some damage. The lucky side on the side of Quantic is that there's no Rubik nor a tree and protector on the side of Fnatic. So they'll keep that damage there.
Yep, and Fnatic able to hold on. They get a couple kills out. They lose Bloodseeker, which I'm sure is less than ideal. Bloodseeker is kind of one of the heroes that they would like to be getting some farm on their team. They probably prefer it were on him than the Enigma at this point. But if Enigma's able to get something big like a Scythe of Eyes, it can certainly be very powerful. Or if he goes for a Linken's, which might be what he's doing with this ultimate orb he's gone for. The Linken's prevents Venge swap if he's BKB. They don't have anything to remove that black hole unless the Linken's gets popped before BKB. So it can be a very, very powerful effect here, and might be what he's thinking about.
I agree, and I would understand why he gets a Linken's, but the power of initiation, well, maybe he's still banking on the fact like, okay, you know what, if this game goes ultra late game, we have a gyro, we win this anyway, so we don't have to initiate. We just have to wait until Quantic gets themselves in a good position. But I prefer personally to see Blink Daggers up on Enigma. But Leah, Linken's makes a lot of sense. A very defensive Enigma build. And no swap means black holes for everybody. They just have to have someone to get the Linkers on cooldown every time. And they don't really have that many things that you would get and then, well, that you would want to waste on it, so to speak. Maybe the magic missile from the Venge could still be there if she's out of the thing. But magic missile doesn't have that long range.
I'm pretty sure Medallion will do it.
Ah, that would be a good one, yeah. Oh, Funzy. In a lot of trouble. BKB TP out, realized he was in trouble. Shadow Blade and Haste Rune on Bloodseeker, that's not a pretty sight. Actually, his entire head is not a pretty sight, but okay.
Yeah, he's able to get away, which is the important thing. He probably doesn't want to be wasting BKB charge, especially now that it goes down to 4 seconds instead of 5. But he needs to get away. He can't afford to die there. And I'm assuming he doesn't have buyback, and actually is the case. So yeah, if he dies, that's very, very bad for Quantic. He does a lot of their damage in these fights, and they can't really just rely on Lich hoping to get an amazing Chain Frost off or something insane like that.
But the Chain Frost was actually quite decent in the previous fight. Yes, it bounced a couple of times on the BKB targets, but nobody actually ended up dying. You need that damage indeed from the OD to be there, and that's the only kind of carry potential hero that they have. And he is so easily countered with just magic immunity.
Yeah, definitely, and that's kind of what I was getting at the beginning of the game, is the BKBs are eventually going to come up from Fnatic, and of course they have 3 of them.
No till. Target of a smoke gang, try to TP out. No such luck.
That's like the best case scenario for someone dying into a smoke gank, is that it's your Visage, whose game impact has been kind of minor at this point anyways. He's down, like, okay, he's down. But at least, you know, they didn't lose a Bloodseeker, or the Clockwork would be like almost worst case scenario at this point. Clockwork is their initiation. If he goes down, things are miserable for them.
Yeah. And one familiar gets away with an inch of his life. Come on, you're stun yourself. Oh, you can't yet. You can do it. Cool. Sorry, distracted.
Yeah, I think we're both getting distracted.
It's getting leader. We have Buta Travels up on silent. He's got 2,300 gold. He actually started on the Shiva's guard, I would expect. From silent, he can just jump in, put the Shivas there, and then continue on his jumping spree. So that's very effective. Oh my god, I'm taking over your sentences. I just heard myself saying very effective. Yes. We have got Era. He has got 5,300 gold. I mean, I was guessing MKB. I don't think Fnatic is really the team to go for rapiers, but they are possible. They have the possibility to do it if they want to.
He's had this Demon Edge for a long time now.
And he can pick up his MKB if he wants to, and still have buyback, I think. Yeah, he still has buyback if he picks up the MKB right now. There's 2,500 gold left.
and he bought. So yeah, he's just going MKBs. I think that's probably the right call. They're playing safe. Era did go Rapier like last week, I think, or maybe earlier this week in a game, but he also played very strange on Gyrocopter. He built Scotty,
Oh.
and I think there was like Scotty in one other game in competitive Dota on Gyrocopter or something insane, and we weren't really sure why he did it, but he went like Scotty Rapier, and it was insane. Gyro though, he does a lot of damage at this point, and he's gonna get bigger and bigger, while Quantic are starting to trail off more and more. These BKBs that are up on the side of Fnatic are already doing a ton in these fights. Like, we've seen Hani just run all the way to the back of the fight and fight whoever he feels like, because he has this BKB up, and it doesn't really matter for him if he takes damage, because they don't actually do that much damage with BKBs.
Nope.
And we're gonna continue seeing that. Maybe eventually the 4-second BKB will be short enough that Quantic can just outlast it, and then it can do damage. But at that point, it's feeling like Fnatic might also be able to just drop BKBs and buy new ones.
They would be, yeah, I think that would be worth it as well, because, I mean, you already said it, and they can't do that much with that BKB on. We have a Scythe of Ice up on the Lich, Shockskad it is, even though he's going under a different name. But that's gonna be a nice one, but again, you need to have a target that is not BKB. The one thing that you can do right now is lock down everybody that doesn't have a BKB, and the one that does, just try to take them down faster. But you don't have the physical damage to do that, actually. So it's sort of, you hex up a couple of people, and you have got one guy, or a couple of guys actually, including the Gyro, of course, running around still on, while doing massive amounts of damage. And
Silent
wow,
picks up an AC.
that is something that we don't see every day. An Assault Grass up on the Storm Spirit, they really want to have that armor.
Yeah, this could be their strategy going into the late game. They have a lot of minus armor, and some fair amount of it is AoE now. And Venge, of course, has that aura maxed at this point, so they're doing quite a bit of right-click damage. So even though most of their damage is coming from magic, if they can do enough physical damage just by stacking these armor debuff effects, as well as the damage aura from Vengeful Spirit, it can work pretty well for them if they just want to right-click some of these heroes down. Maybe Hani gets a little too aggressive, thinking he's safe with the BKB. Mantis style finished on Gyro finally. It's somewhat unusual that he went for that 50 minutes, but I guess he just wanted to make that Yasha into something a little bit more useful at this point.
Yeah,
There's enough AoE though on the side of Quantic that it feels like it's probably not going to do a ton.
We'll see how successful he is with it. As I mean, right now, this is a time where Quantic, I mean, their strat is probably still just trying to pick off someone and then go in up high ground. But Fnatic is starting to be about done. This is only the second time on Storm Spirit that he has bought an Assault Grass. Second time since TI2. That is pretty impressive. As in, pretty unorthodox build there coming up. We do have a Roshan up again soon. The Flare already scouted out, given the vision, seeing also people coming in, so they'll try to fight this. We already have the Clockwork on his way, might be able to try and steal it. Or maybe they'll just try to take the tier 3 tower and now finally go high ground on the top lane. H is already down though, that's what's super fast, of course, with... Whoa! Whoa! Trixie getting scouted out, the ward was there, and Trixie gets hexed! He can't get away, he goes down! Second hex was there as well, coming out from the Lich, helping out.
Come out of that tin can anytime.
And that was a brilliant pickup for Quantic. 51 seconds without that Clockwork does have buyback though, as one of the few people that actually has, because it's just Clockwork and OD that have the buyback.
He has the buyback. It's, again, still miserable that Clockwork dies. He's so necessary to Fnatic's team fight right now. So Quantic are at the very least going to force the Aegis out. I don't know if they're going to be feeling confident enough to try and take high ground after the buyback. They do have the Aegis up. It's on Storm Spirit once again. Who'd they give the cheese to? I didn't see.
It is
on
up on
OD.
Funzy. Yeah.
That makes sense. It's pretty much the best bet for it at this point. And yeah, they're just going to back off with the buyback. They can force it out, spend some gold from Fnatic, and continue farming up. They're probably going to have to be building some physical damage though. They have 3 scythes up at this point, which is kind of huge. Venge looking like maybe she's going for eggs.
It does actually sound like a plausible idea. Able to swap in creeps and such, and allied, well, in creeps mostly.
Yeah, it's more the cooldown. The 10-second cooldown is absolutely huge. That way she can use it multiple times in a fight to try and keep pulling people out of position, as well as maybe get someone else in, depending on what the situation calls for. But Quantic now, they're feeling like they're way in front in terms of map control. They have a lot of the lanes pushing. The top lane always seems to be pushing the way of Fnatic, which is somewhat surprising. But the other lanes are always close to where Fnatic's base is, and as a result, Quantic can just get free farm in the Radiant jungle. And while they're farming here, Fnatic aren't farming.
Yep.
So they're able to continue building up the gold advantage that they have. They also have a pretty substantial experience advantage at this point. Though it's maybe not so big since we are 50 minutes in, but they do have a lead in both of those columns, and it's just up to them now whether or not they can make that into a successful push into the high ground. The Aegis is the time.
Yeah, don't you think it is about time that Fnatic maybe is a bit more aggressive, considering Fnatic has got that gyro? Shouldn't this be around the time where they should be the one to call the shots? Oh my god, Era! Fly rather in a lot of trouble, gets forced out into safety, maybe helping out, he gets forced out twice, he is safe. Whoa, that was...
He also gets sided twice.
He got sided, yeah, but if they would be able to pick up that Enigma, that would be huge, that would be Quantic up on the high ground.
Yeah, and that's some of the reason that Fnatic can't play that aggressively. It's very easy for Storm with this Bloodstone. He has a giant inside. He has a giant mana pool. He can initiate from very, very far away. And Fnatic, they don't really want to just be like 5-man push squad, run up the middle lane, let Quantic split push us to death, because that's not really the situation they want to be in. And Honey's pushing up the top lane, forcing someone back, so maybe Fnatic want to go now, but Quantic back off as a result of it. They're still farming up in the Radiant jungle. Funzy, or actually I guess fucking mad on the Vengeful Spirit, is sitting in the jungle continuing to farm, getting scouted out by a rocket player. But, like, whatever, they're just farming everywhere in the map. Honey's the only one that's left the base of Fnatic in like the last 8 minutes or so, successfully.
And I mean, you mentioned like you want to go in when you know your opponent is with 4. The one thing that you want to have if you start chasing people down is the Bloodseeker, and he wasn't there. And other than that, they don't really have that big chasing potential apart from the Birds of Notio, who haven't really been that big of an impact, as we already know. And you can't really go in on people then. And we see, I mean, again, okay, Quantic backs off. Fnatic is able to just, you know, force them back by pushing in top. It's great. But it doesn't change anything in terms of map control. Fnatic are still sitting in their base. Hani still sitting on the top lane, is actually going to be finding silence. He already used his silence actually on himself, but is able to just use his Shadow Blade to get away. But this is, again, Quantic still having the control. Complete control.
Yeah, as long as Quantic control the map, they're in trouble.
Oh, Era gets hexed up. Here comes the rest of them. They need to save their carry. Their carry who's getting Vortex turns on his BKB. In the meantime, Shockscout's getting stunned up by some birds. It should be Quantic backing out, and Fnatic, of course, still playing very, very safe. So also, they do not go in when they realize that their carry was safe. We also have no Lincolns up on the Enigma, but he actually went for a Hex. Did we already point that out?
On Enigma?
Fly, yeah. Ooh, okay, Trixie. Going up on the Vengeful. Vengeful getting stunned up, getting a stun in return, but he'll go down. And Silent getting iced up as well. That's gonna be an Aegis gone. He should be able to get away unless the black hole is gonna be there. And the black hole is gonna be there. A lot of it wasted though, way too early. But the damage lighting out. Overgrowth helping out. The blink dagger from Goblack doing tons of work, but is there enough damage? BKB turned on by the OD, but he can't find a way in. Those cogs being very annoying. It is the Tree and Protector that still ends up going down. Silent in a lot of trouble now as well. Getting stunned up. Still wants to do something as we still see a double kill going the way of the Lich. The Gyro buys back after going down. We have Fly. He already uses BKB. Time to run himself out of this place. Cheese now being used by Funzies on his OD. Looking for a new target. Can't really find it. Gem on the floor. He picks it up. Is able to do that. Era coming back. Wants to still go for Silence, who only died once this game. He can of course still suicide if he really thinks he would go down, but he needs to not be stunned to do that. Suicide then! No! Not! Okay. Frustrating.
Sound like you're having a heart attack over there.
Well, it was like you could suicide. You know, I wanted to see that. Aghanims completed up on the Vengeful from that. I mean, it was a very messy fight, initiated by Fnatic. Black Hole was way too early, and they didn't get the kill up on Silent with that, which was quite a big loss, I think. But we did have the Gyrocopter buying back, and Hani bought back. So that was quite good for Quantic, because Quantic didn't buy anybody back. They just lived. Well, apart from 2, 3.
Yeah, a lot of them ended up sort of dying, but they didn't have to expend any buybacks.
Yeah.
The key heroes died. They also lost the Aegis on Storm Spirit, and you just have to wonder when you watch that fight, how different does it go if Fly doesn't black hole 2 seconds before Aegis respawns?
Oh, that was like unfortunate. I'm gonna call it unfortunate. We still have a Shiva's guard, by the way. This time it's on Goblack. I mean, up on the OD, which is Funzy calling himself Goblack today. So we still have that on the side of Quantic. So Kras still on the Storm, which is still interesting. 5100 gold up on the Storm.
Here I am.
3% of the Vengeful Spirit games he actually gets in Aghanims. And how many of those does he actually played as support, of course, as well, as this is a support Venge, getting that much farm. He's been in 16 out of the 26 guilds.
I think if he's playing something other than support,
Wait a
like
second,
carry
Silent, he gets hexed. Can he get himself out? Ball Lightning, BKB should be able to live. A lot of things thrown at him though. But no BKB charges used on the side of Fnatic, and of course no Black Hole used this time either. In the meantime, they do take down the tier 3 on the bottom lane. That's what you get. Send all your people up to one target. Don't even kill that one target, but do leave your base by yourself. Tier 3 tower now bare, and this is going to be the lane where Quantic is going to lay down some extra pressure. And they're actually thinking about going in. Cogs already go down. Nice swap. Trixie! He's dead! Fonzie gets himself out alive. With, of course, the Astral Imprisonment helping him out. That's the Clockwork. That's a Cogs gone, and that is a big deal. You might be able to walk past it with the BKB, or you know, without getting. Oh, another swap and another kill era! The swap, the vent, the Aghanims, Fly goes down as well. No-tail, the overgrowth. It is Hani that drops. It is no-tail that also dies, and that is 5 people dead. That is a GG. The swaps coming off from the Vengeful Spirit, which is not Funzy, but fucking mad. Let's give him the right credit, obviously. That Aghanims just gave them this fight.
Yeah, those swaps are huge, and Fnatic, they just slip up. They tried to chase down Silent in the mid, or not Silent. Was playing Storm Spirit. We're just playing Storm Spirit. I don't want to remember anymore. Storm Spirit in the mid lane, they don't manage to get the kill, and they gave up their tier 3 for, which is the biggest deal. Quantic have been afraid to try and go high ground pretty much all game. Once that tier 3 is down, they don't have a tower to worry about, and they just go for it with all the Sentry wards.
Yeah. Quantic, they still sit on 5 losses. Now get their 7th win in StarLadder, while Fnatic has to deal with the 6th loss in the StarLadder Star Series. And of course, this is day number 21. We're already half an hour past the official starting time of our next match, which is Virtus Pro taking on Rock's Kiss. So we'll be jumping ourselves right into that game. StarLadder, of course, brought to you here by, of course, K-poptosis, who's been your statman for the evening. I will also do that for the last game. Kanaz, who is my co-caster for the evening. I will also be doing that for the last game. And of course, I will be there as well. I'm Sheever. You can all follow us on Twitter at K-poptosis without the hyphen, at Kanaz Dota with the Z, and then at SheeverGaming. So let's jump ourselves into the next game. StarLadder, you're going to be seeing Virtus Pro taking on Rock's Kiss. Stick around.